Are we rolling? Yes, we are. What's up, guys? It's your boy McKinley Crain here, and today I'm going to be doing my spoiler-free movie review of the movie that I just recently watched, which is the 1968 original Night of the Living Dead. So, this film is basically, it's like one of the first, it was like one of the first, ever, zombie, horror movies ever made. Like, one of the earliest zombie movies ever made. It wasn't the first. The first was White Zombie, but it was one of the earliest zombie movies. Anyway, so this movie is about it's about a group of survivors trying to survive and stay safe in the middle of a zombie outbreak. And the zombies in this movie do not really look like zombies. They just look like normal people. They just look like, normal people. But that's not bad at all in this case. That's terrific because it adds to the story. It creates this whole thing in the movie where it's harder to tell whether or not someone is a zombie or not. Plus, it was 1968, where they didn't have very good special effects and stuff, so, of course they're not gonna look, real. Anyway, why did I even say real? I mean, zombies aren't even real, so, you know. So, realistic is the word that I probably should have said, that fits more that fits my statement more, yeah. So these effects, because it was in 1968, don't look as realistic as other zombie movies have their zombies look. Yeah. Anyway, so this film stars Judith O'Dea as Barbara, who is the main character of this movie. The main character. There are basically two main characters in my opinion. The second one's coming up, but this is the main character, the main character of the movie, who who isn't is has no idea what's going on in the movie when the zombies start coming out and attacking people and stuff. This film also stars, how do I even pronounce his name? Dewan, yeah, I think I got that right. Jones. So Dewan Jones as Ben, who was the bad A of this movie. Yeah, so Dewan Jones as Ben. He's one of the second main protagonist or whatever. He's not the main character, but he's a main character, if you know what I mean. And he's the smartest one. He's the smartest person in this movie. He has more experience and more knowledge about what's happening around him than anybody else does. He knows more about what's happening around the world and around the nation more than anybody else in the movie does. And he's personally my favorite character in this movie. But, like, you know, I love all the characters in this movie. You know, the 2 stars, obviously. So the 2 stars, like, give the best performances in this movie. And when I say 2 stars, I mean Ben and Barbara. But, like, you know, the supporting cast is pretty awesome, too. Like, you know, every character in this movie does a pretty good job. Well, does a terrific, amazing job. They do a perfect job. This whole movie is perfect, in my opinion. You know, the whole movie is perfect. The whole movie is great. The whole movie is, like, you know, a masterpiece of a film. Especially, like, the last 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes of the film, which are the best, which are, like, which is, like, the best part of the movie, like, you know, the best parts of this movie. You know, a lot of the special effects in this movie, okay, my bad. All of the special effects in this movie do not look real and look dated. Well, they were good for their time, but that was back in 1968. Not to mention the fact that this film is in black and white. And it's not like one of those, like, you know, movies that's just in black and white to, like, help create this setting. Like, you know, they purposely put it in black and white to help create the setting, like Schindler's List, or, like, you know, The Artist, or, you know what I mean. It's not one of those movies that, like, came out in a time where, like, you know, color movies, like, were very common and most movies were in color. This came out when, like, you know, I think they had, like, a few color movies, but, like, you know, color was, like, a new thing, and most everything was in black and white. So, yeah, this is like an old black and white movie. So, of course, the special effects don't look dated, like, you know. Of course they do. So I love this movie. It's just a great horror movie, if you know what I mean. It's thrilling, it's fun. You know, it's got great characters that you actually care about. It's got strong performances. Is it my favorite zombie movie ever? No. But it's one of my favorites. Is it my favorite horror film ever? No, but it's one of my favorites. It's just a great movie, and it was better than I thought it was going to be. I expected it to be great, but I didn't really expect it to be, like, you know, a masterpiece of a movie, like 100% out of 100%, 10 out of 10, you know what I'm saying? But it is. It's just a great movie. And yes, this isn't everybody's cup of tea, because I know a lot of people do not like horror movies, if you know what I mean. But, like, you know, there are people like me who do like them. And, yeah, this is definitely my cup of tea. And I think the critics and, like, the audiences all agree with me that it's, like, a great film. Well, pretty much all of the critics and audiences. There are still the people who don't like this movie. But, you know, most people who have seen this movie, and, like, you know, this type of movie is, like, their cup of tea too. Like, you know, they agree with me that this is a great movie, and it's, like, a perfect movie. Anyway, I'm going to give this movie a 100% out of 100%, which is the equivalent of an A+. Like, subscribe, join the notification squad. I'll be return.